I would love to understand like the latency period between when the vaccine was administered and to when these chronic inflammations start to occur. And when these latency periods are long, as mentioned here with chronic inflammation, what is giving us that conviction that the chronic inflammation was indeed due to that vaccine versus other environmental toxicants?
Well, I think the biggest thing is parents reporting it and doctors seeing it, because who's going to say 3 years later if their kid gets asthma that was because of a vaccine? So that's not really helpful. The only thing that is helpful is following kids forward, and we have to believe parents like everyone's saying here, and I think that's really important, but that's just the start, because doctors, they'll listen to parents, but that's not enough. They'll say it's just an anecdote. I don't know what you're talking about. They want to see data, and so I think to really hone in on that, we're going to need to see that data, and I hope that that's coming. I really do.
I'd like to talk about autoimmunity as one of the examples where, even though it may take a really long time to present, pretty easy to draw a line back to the vaccines. So, for example, there are autoimmune diseases that are 10, 15, 20 years in the making. And I've had the pleasure of lecturing with a guy named Yehuda Shoenfeld, who is the grandfather of autoimmunity. He is in Israel. Nicest guy in the world. He seems like the kind of guy you'd see at the deli, you know, or the bagel shop. But he's got this brilliant mind, and he wrote a whole book about vaccines and autoimmunity, which I read. I doubt that many pediatricians have read it. And as we've seen the increasing number of vaccine doses, we've also seen an increase in autoimmunity. And yes, I know that correlation is not causation. If I were a scientist working with rats in a laboratory and I wanted to give an animal autoimmunity so I could study how to treat it, I would give them aluminum. And that's what we did. So in that study, somewhere around 2.6% in each group got some autoimmunity later. But because the placebo group was also given aluminum, it kind of washed it out. And the company was able to see, oh, we didn't see any increase in autoimmunity. All these teenage girls who previously were scholars and athletes and wonderful girls are hysterical. That just drove me absolutely nuts.
So I said earlier that almost about 1 in 4 children have at least one allergic condition. And many years ago, I saw an article in the literature that said that since 1991, fatal food allergies have risen exponentially in the pediatric population. And of course, you know, why would that happen? Food is not supposed to be something that we're allergic to. It's part of nature. We're nature. In my reading of the package inserts, I started to find that every one of the foods that children are allergic to are in the vaccines. So casein, which is dairy, is in every tetanus shot. And soy, which a lot of children are sensitive to and allergic to, is in the Prevnar vaccine. And egg protein is in the vitamin K shot and the MMR shot and in the flu shot. And sugar is injected in vaccines. And many of you know, whether you're parents, grandparents, or practitioners, when you give kids sugar, sometimes they go off the wall. And so they are sensitized to see sugar as an enemy.